Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a very interesting episode for you guys. You want to stick around for, so just make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, as y'all know, Gilbert Arenas is making his latest rounds on Vlad TV, right? And he's been there a number of times. We've actually produced some videos relating to some of the things that he said on Vlad TV. And usually when he goes on Vlad TV, that platform, he makes an appearance on that platform, he usually says something that creates a lot of headlines and conversation, usually in the sports world. The one that he did had to do with the Matt Barnes situation that he had with Derek Fisher. And that video, I think, has well over a 500,000 views. So that video did very well. And we recently even covered some recent comments that he made on Vlad TV, where he basically said, this was what he said, we did the video, he said, you can go hunt it down, that Ben Simmons basically was probably faking his injury to ensure that he recoups his money from the Philadelphia 76ers. He said it on Vlad TV. It wasn't as if I made it up. That's what he said. Now, other people have had some, various theories or whatever. Some people theorized about the situation, but that's what he said. And speaking of Ben Simmons, he is at the center, really, of Gilbert Arenas' recent comments on Vlad TV. Now, recently he was on Vlad, and he spoke about Shaquille O'Neal in two short clips. As y'all know, Vlad does these hour-plus interviews, and then he releases like these short kind of sound bites, so to speak. And in two different sound bites, he had some very strong words for Shaq, right? Some very strong words for him, and he said some pretty interesting things about him. So what we want to do is we want to play some of the things that he had to say, and I want you guys to pay close attention to some of the things that he's saying, because we're going to come back and unpack that even further. So before we go too far, take a listen to some of his comments that he had to make about Shaquille O'Neal. Take a listen to that.
Shaq said he would coach the Lakers if he got $25 million a year for 4 years. Do you really see Shaq coaching a team, period?
No.
Why?
This is not a knock against him, because he was great.
Yeah.
But he was gifted great.
I mean, he was born big.
He was born big,
huge,
athletic, and was skilled.
Mm-hmm.
So,
except for the threes.
Yeah, except for the threes. So the mentality of what it takes to day in and day out to be a great player, that was Kobe's complaint. You know, that I get here at 6 o'clock working on my craft. You're just God's gift. You know what I mean? So, will he have the brain and capacity to break down for the lames? That's not him. And that's where usually greats have a problem with, making it normal. Like, that's why Kobe was a great coach, because Kobe didn't have the 48-inch vertical and all this. He had to work on his craft. He had to understand the game. He had to understand angles. That's why mediocre players make better coaches. What I remembered, but that's how, when I look at Kareem, them, it's like you're talking with this perception of who you are now, not who you were then. Mm-hmm. Like, you're trying to talk as prestige, like, y'all were prima donnas also. Y'all was prima donnas. So don't bash the players today for being prima donnas, because you was prima donnas. Just agree.
A lot more money now too.
But that's just it. Just say, I understand where he's coming from. I do. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, look, listen. I slapped Kobe. I tried to get him traded, but he wouldn't trade the man. Just like, you can say that because it happened. You know, you're talking about Ben Simmons. You did this. Kobe tried to do that too. If Kobe could have got you traded his first year after you slapped him, trust me, they would have did it.
Now, to his first point about Shaq, let me firstly say this. Shaq is an educated guy, right? He went to LSU. Obviously, he played basketball, but he studied business at LSU, funny enough. And actually, after his playing career, he went on to continue his education. And I believe Shaq has a doctorate in education, if I'm not mistaken, right? So Shaq is one of these guys, one of these athletes that understood, listen, I can make a lot of money playing sports, but I also feel as if it's important for me to get my education. Now that's Shaq. Maybe he did it for himself. Maybe he did it for his family. Maybe he did it because he wanted to be an example for his children. I don't really know, right? But Shaq is a very sharp guy. Like, he's a very educated guy. So I don't think, because to the comments that he made about him being able to, explain basketball concepts, listen, I don't think Shaq would have any problems grasping basketball concepts or explaining them to NBA players when he was able to grasp business concepts. They're all concepts. So I don't think Shaq would have any difficulty understanding that. If you look at Kobe Bryant was one of the best, smartest basketball players of all time. But I also heard that Kobe Bryant was extremely good in math, right? So you can grasp math, but you could also grasp basketball. So I don't think that those two things are mutually exclusive. Smart people usually have the capacity to understand a range of things. It doesn't mean that just because you understand this, you're incapable of understanding other things. And on top of that, Shaq played basketball for, I believe it was 19 years. So I think Shaq would be able to have an easy grasp of basketball. If you just ask me, I mean, maybe those 19 years will mean something. To the second part that he made about the comments about Kobe being slapped and players being prima donnas, I'm not sure how that correlates to Ben Simmons, because he's the one that brought up Ben Simmons, right? He brought him up in the thing, and some people pointed out to me, some viewers pointed out to me that, listen, Gilbert Arenas and Ben Simmons have a close relationship. Now, that's what some people said. I don't know that to be true. I don't follow these people around. I don't know who hangs out with who. I don't care, right? I mean, beyond talking sports, I don't care about what people are doing in their personal lives. But I just can't remember any situation during Shaq's career that was similar to anything that has happened to any of the things that has transpired over the 4 or 5 year career of Ben Simmons. I don't remember any situation like. Do you remember at any point in Shaq's career where he was afraid to shoot, or afraid to play in games, or play like garbage for consecutive fourth quarters at any point in his? Do y'all remember? Did that happen? Are there any moments y'all can point to when Shaq was in his prime, like when he was playing with the Orlando Magic? And do y'all remember any of that? I don't remember any of that. Maybe it happened. I don't remember any of it. So I don't see the parallels between the two players. While you guys are prima donna, I don't understand how Shaq and Ben Simmons correlate in any way, shape or form. And finally, so what's the solution? So basically, Shaq should go up there and baby guys and only say nice things about them, and not really say what he actually thinks about this. So if that's the case, so why does Shaq even have the job in the first place? Why would you want to talk about sports and be a commentator or an analyst, whatever it is, and then be afraid to say what you actually think? So why do you want the job in the first place? I mean, basically, you want to go up there and really hide your real feelings and collect a check. That's stealing, my friend. So why are you up there? If you're going to go up there and talk about sports, you're supposed to say what you think. And what happened in Shaq's life have to do with Shaq's opinions about Ben Simmons? Last time I checked, and I've watched a good amount of interviews of Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq seems to be one of the most brutally honest people, including to himself. Did y'all see the interview that he did when he had to sit down on the Pivot podcast? He was talking about his own personal shortcomings on the basketball court and off the basket. I mean, he got very, very personal. So it's not like as if Shaq is up there talking from a position of I'm holier than thou. That's not the perception that Shaq gives. Like, Shaq doesn't give me that feeling that, he's talking down to people. That's number one. Even if you look at Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is very respected by a lot of people. A lot of people don't agree with some of the things that he says, but no one is going to accuse Charles Barkley of sitting up there and saying what he doesn't believe, right? And Charles Barkley will be the first one to point out his flaws, even at the commercial. I'm not a robot. So these people, just because they had shortcomings in their careers or in their personal lives, doesn't mean that you should throw a muzzle on them. And they shouldn't say what they think about current players. If they're going to do that, then I ask the question again, why do you have the job? Your job is to say what you think, not to go up there and twerk it up and baby guys. So Shaq, in my personal opinion, is doing what he is paid to do, which is Go up there and say what you think. Y'all remember, Charles Barkley was so honest, so candid, that it even caused him and the relationship that he had with, Michael Jordan to be fractured. And some people say, well, Charles Barkley, if you're going to go up there and say that about, like Stephen A. Smith said, if you're going to go up there and say that about, Michael Jordan, you should probably put in a call. And Charles was like, no, Michael Jordan's not paying my bills. He's not paying my salary. I don't work for Michael Jordan. I work for TNT or Turner, whatever it is. My job is to go up there and be honest to the audience. What the hell are you talking about? So when they're trying to talk about, Shaq was a prima, I didn't understand that correlation. And number two, Gilbert Arenas seems like he likes the baby guys. From what I'm hearing, he likes the baby guys, and I don't think Shaq was brought up in that way to baby guys. Have you listened to any of his stories about his father? I think his father he was a disciplinarian. So you know the type of person you're dealing with Shaq. You know the type of person you're dealing with. Have you heard some of Shaq's philosophies with his personal wealth and his kids? Have y'all heard any of that? Shaq is talking about, I'm rich, y'all ain't rich. And he said it's caused him to have some friction with his kids. Even Mike Tyson talked about. So you got to know who you're dealing with. And to say that, Shaq is being a prima, listen, I didn't understand it. If Shaq ever sees this video, he probably will, I don't know. Just keep doing your thing, bro. Just keep calling it like it is. What's going to happen is people are going to agree with you or disagree with you. No one is going to have somebody agree with them on everything. People watch our videos. There's some people that love our videos, and there's some people that tune in every day to tell us how much they hate. Some people even subscribe to the channel and still tell us how bad we are and all of this stuff. That's human beings for you. That's how they are. So to me, Shaq should not stop saying what he's saying. And I don't understand the correlation. What did the slap of Kobe and all of that have to do? Why did you bring up? That's what Gilbert Arenas be saying. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. I don't know. I don't know what Gilbert Arenas be talking about half the time, man.